Alright, I'm gonna start with a sphere. That's the base hair for the character. Alright, let's fix the neck. Hope you guys enjoyed the course. Leave a comment below and I'll see you guys in the next one. Wait, hold up. Let's rewind. Hey, how you guys doing? Today we're going to talk about sculpting a stylized male character in Blender. And guess what? It's going to be real time, so this is going to be really amazing. In fact, if you guys didn't watch it yet, go watch last week's video. Really happy with the results because a lot of you guys enjoyed it. A lot of you guys supported that video. You really like the format, you like the tutorial, and it really makes me want to create more content like that. So go watch it. It's the first part of this tutorial. So it's called Sculpting in Blender for Beginners. It will introduce you to Blender, talk about a lot of stuff, and it will help you follow this tutorial because this is a bit more advanced. But yeah, so go watch it first and then come back and watch this video. If you're interested in the full course, it's available for my patrons and on my Gumroad. I'll talk more in details about what you get in the full course at the end of this video. So make sure to watch the whole thing and let's start. All right, I'm gonna start with a sphere just like the usual. I'm gonna switch to sculpt mode. I'll start playing around with the shape just to get that stylized look I'm going for right off the bat. So I want my character to have a long face. I'm gonna pull the whole sphere down. Alright. Now we don't really want it that round over here, so I'm gonna push all of this a bit to the inside. And then I'm gonna try to be aware of all these sides and push this part over here backwards to make the face a bit round so that it doesn't look too boxy. Just something a lot of artists tend to have an issue with. They usually don't look at all sides, myself included. Obviously, sometimes I forget to do that. I have to remind myself. So I'm gonna pull the forehead up a bit. Now keep in mind this is very stylized, so I'm playing around with my knowledge of anatomy to get the results that we're gonna get soon. Alright, I don't really have anything in mind per se. I'm just going with the flow. I just have an idea that I want a dude with a long face, and I'll see what kind of look I'm gonna be getting. So I'm gonna mark the eyes, at least the position of the eyes, so, or the, yeah, we could mark the position of the brows. Sometimes I like to start with the eyebrows right over here. It helps. And we want the nose around midway from, well, the base of the nose at least, from the eye line and the chin. So the chin is gonna be over here. And we're gonna pull it out like that. Alright, and we're gonna play around from all sides. Again, don't forget that. Alright. Okay. Looking good for something that looks like nothing so far. But we're gonna get somewhere really fast. I wouldn't worry about that, I think. So yeah, so here's the eye socket. I'm just gonna quickly mark it just to keep that in mind. And then, actually I probably want the jaw to be, or the chin to be a lot more that way, protruding. Personal choice, just because I'm going with stylized over here. It's not how it usually looks like, obviously, but I'm still following the basic anatomy knowledge that I got. It's quite important to have some anatomy knowledge before you start stylizing the character. So we're gonna add some cheekbone right over here. All right. Again, I'm going very, like, I'm really using basic shapes. I'm not going into details yet until I feel like I got the overall feel of the character that I want to go for, and then I can start taking the details seriously. So I'm gonna pull out the nose, and I'm probably gonna make a prominent nose, just a bit of a manly nose to go along with the long manly features that he got, kind of. And Yeah, I'm just gonna mark the nostrils real fast, and I find that to be quite important because it does help with the proportions. There you go. So the nose kind of should end over here, the beginning of the eye line. Right. See, when I added the nostrils, I can tell right away that the nose is a bit wider than I'd like it to be. So I'm gonna push that in just a bit. There you go. Okay, so that's just a basic shape. Again, I don't want to go too much into details. Okay. Very nice. Very, very nice. Perfect. Alright, see, in just a few minutes we already have a decent look. We can tell that it's shaping up to be the character. And yeah, let's just continue and see where this takes us. So I'm gonna push out the brow just a bit and play a bit around with the forehead over here. So I'm adding details really with dynamic topology. If you guys didn't notice me doing that, see, activated. The head is not really a sphere. It's definitely not going to be a sphere with this character either. So yeah, the head's, let's see. I'd like it to be more of a squarish shape right over here. So I'm gonna mark the temple over here. And yeah, so I'm just pushing things in. Or, you know, flattening them just a bit. And I'd want to add some details over here. Push things in for the neck. And I'm gonna use the grab brush to do that, so I'm gonna push everything right over here. And again, don't forget, look from all sides. Quite important to do that. Okay. So I'll probably add the neck later. It's quite useful to add it right off the bat. It does help with the proportions, but kind of don't feel like it right now, so I'm gonna add it later. So I'm gonna play around with the jaw and see where I'm gonna add the ears. So probably around the middle over here. All right. And it'll stop around the base of the nose. And this part where it switches direction is where the separation of the mouth will be placed. Again, all of that is from knowledge from anatomy, so it allows you to, you know, if you have really good knowledge, it allows you to manipulate the shapes, to exaggerate them, and get something believable and appealing. So appeal is quite important. Very, very important. So let's see, I'd like to add the shape for the mouth. So the mouth is a bit rounded over here. It's not really straight. Not at all, really. Again, another issue a lot of artists do is they keep the mouth very straight. And we'll play around with the shape a bit more later on. I just like to add the mouth. So the mouth is usually, let's see, the separation of the mouth at least is 1/3 from the base to the chin. So not half, 1/3. So it's around over here. Again, you can exaggerate and change some things. And then the base or bottom of the, I don't really know what to call this part over here, but it's another 1/3. All right. And then we could add some orbicularis oris. Again, hopefully I'm getting the terms right. Actually, I won't really use the terms because I need to revise them. So it's basically just a muscle that's around the mouth. It has a distinctive shape, especially with, you know, certain type of people. And when you go stylized, you know, you could really make it distinctive over here. Nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, cool. I don't really want to make this video too long, so I'm gonna try to go easy with the amount of details I'm gonna add and, you know, how far I'm gonna take the character. Just want to give you guys a quick look on how to sculpt something, you know, for fun or to practice. I guess. Or maybe just to get a quick concept of a character. Could be useful. Alright, so let's see. I'm not really happy with the shape of the forehead. Let me just save real quick. And the skull, per se. So I'm gonna have to play around with that. And that's usually one of the hardest parts, to be honest, when creating a face. Well, at least I have some difficulties with it. But a lot of people, I notice a lot of people have difficulty with it, and they usually hide it with hair or something, and I don't think that's a good idea, because if you can't get the shape of the skull right, then you probably can't properly hide it either. Because hair is above the skull, so it's affected by the shape of the skull, right? Makes sense. I think. No, I know, it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Alright, let's see. So we have this shape over here that goes down a bit. We have the base of the nose, and yeah, looking good, looking good. Can add some detail to the nose just to make it look a bit more believable and appealing. Let's see. So since I'm going for something really stylized, I could just add a let's see, or flatten. I'm gonna use that term instead, so I can flatten this part right over here and above it. And see, I'm playing around with the direction, the way I flatten the nose. So it's quite important to know how to how to say this and make sense. You gotta know how to use the tools of Blender or whatever sculpting program you're using to get the direction that you want with the mesh, you know? Not really difficult, but it takes some time. The more you sculpt, the more you'll get used to it. Alright. So I'm quickly switching between brushes, and I have a tutorial on that, on the hotkeys. It's not really complicated. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, stuff like that. So yeah, the reason I'm not using any screencast keys is because I can't find a good one that doesn't crash Blender or doesn't have some issues. Alright, so I got into details a bit too fast, honestly. I just didn't notice that I was doing that, so I'm gonna stop with the nose. And let's add the eyes. I should have done that right away. So for the eyes, I'm just gonna use, let's see, save again. So I'm gonna use a pre-made eye. It's basically just a sphere, and then I extruded the front part. I did a video on that with how to create a character course. I think it was the second or third part. It's called Modeling Eyes, not really complicated to find. Alright. So, I'm gonna put it right over here. Put it in a bit, down, and yeah, that seems about right. I don't really like making the eyes too big. Depends on my mood, but I usually don't. So as we can see, we have a lattice over here just in case I want to play around with the shape of the eye. So I'm gonna push in the eyes a bit, like around here. And I'm gonna make sure that the lattice displays properly in case I want to use it later on. Alright. So the eyes are placed, which will allow me to go back to sculpt mode. And let's see. And add some details. So maybe the eyelids, we could add them right away just to see what it looks like, or give the character a bit more expression. Looking good. Alright. So the lower eyelid, could add that as well. And let's see, does it look right from all sides? It kind of does. Okay. Gonna add this part as well. I think it was called the caruncle, I'm not sure anymore. Alright, so we got the eyelids. For starters, gonna play around with that later on. Okay. And that is looking okay. Still not satisfied with the shape. I still don't have the likeness that I'm looking for, so, or appeal that I'm looking for, to be more precise. So I'm gonna play around. It's the sides over here that I don't really like, and I'm probably gonna have to add the ears just to better see what kind of character I'm going for, I guess. Alright, so I'm gonna add the muscle over here and smooth it out. Well, actually, I'm flattening it so I have a more precise term. Okay, perfect. So here again, I'm taking the cheekbone into account and I'm trying to play around with the shape to get that going on for the character. All right, for now we can call it done over here, just for now, and we'll play around with that later on. So I'd like to get back to the skull part and try to get this right, because I'm very not satisfied with that right now. What we could do is get a more sharp line over here, right? Maybe even a wider chin. Let's try that. Go for something a lot more stylized. It's gonna look weird, but let's see what gives. Okay, looking weird. It's kind of what I'm going for, really. A weird looking character. A very weird looking character. Kind of like to have fun sometimes and just make really weird characters just for fun, you know? Not always pretty or cool characters, just weird. It's really fun to do. You guys gotta try it out. Okay. Let's see. Just making sure I'm in perspective mode. I advise to sculpt in perspective mode and not in orthographic mode. That's my personal opinion. And yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice, very nice. Okay. So, maybe add the ears. Let's add the ears. It'll help me with the characters, because right now the characters, I'm still not satisfied with the character. I feel like something's missing. I got some shape wrong, or it's not the way I want it to look. So by adding the ears, I'll have a better idea of what to do later on. So I'm gonna make the ears start from the eye line over here. Okay. And push it out. See, I'm using the sculpt draw because it allows me to do this as fast as possible. It really pushes out a big chunk of clay, or, you know, mesh. Okay. And I'll probably go for really thick, big ears. We'll see. Again, save just in case. We never know. Yeah, see, I feel like the ears is too far away from the eyes, so maybe if I push this backwards a bit and then pull this part. This is usually the point over here that is the widest of the skull. So I'm gonna play around a bit with that. And let's take another look. Alright, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I feel like it can still improve the head, like a lot. So I'll still play around with it a bit and see what I can get. Oh, one important thing which I forgot to do is add the eyebrows right away. Just an indication, and it really helps out with the character. It does. So I want to get it close enough to the character, because I usually do that mistake of making it too far away from the eyes, and that really depends on the perspective, the position, you know, what is he doing with the eyes? Is it closed? Is it open? But with a normal expression like this, for a male character, the eyebrows are usually quite close. There you go. Then we have some Gonna add some flesh over here, some mesh for the, you know, if you guys know the skeleton form, you know that there's a bit of this over here. Not really sure what it's called. That's the thing about anatomy. If you know, I learned it a long time ago. I taught myself really, and I didn't revise the terms, the words, the terminology for a long time. So I should go back to it to remind myself what they're called, because it really helps when you know the names, the name of each, or the terminology of the anatomy. It really helps out. It helps you remember, you know? It's kind of like when you memorize something, you know, you'll probably remember a lot more if you draw it, if you write it down, and if you know the terminology. So if you do a mix of all of these things, you'll probably learn anatomy a lot faster than you think. I know anatomy can be a bit scary and boring at the beginning, but the faster you get over that and you actually learn it, you'll thank me for that. And even if you don't, you'll be happy. You'll be happy you made that choice. All right. Okay. So, yeah, by adding the eyebrows and the ears, it's really helping me with, you know, visualizing what the character looks like and what it's gonna look like, or, you know, what direction I want to go for. So it's not really the well, I didn't really have anything in mind, to be honest, but I don't know. I mean, it's okay. Gonna make this part a little more flat and push this down right over here. Bam, there you go. Looking nice, looking really nice. Okay, I think it would be really beneficial for us right now to add the neck. Just add some details for the back of the skull, and then I'm gonna add the neck. All right, so we could add a cylinder and then use the bullion tool. That is definitely an option. Or I could just go old style and just pull this whole part. What I'd like to do, just in case, is grab the mask brush and kind of mask the parts that I don't want to be affected whatsoever. So yeah, these parts over here and up to here. I think that will be good. Yeah, that should be fine. So now I can pull, be more blunt with how I pull the neck or the mesh to, you know, to create a shape for the neck. All right, let's see, save again, don't forget about that. All right, so for the width of the neck, you know, usually I want to go for something that doesn't look too weird, to be honest. I mean, you could go thin, you could go thick, you could go realistic or very stylized. It's really up to you. It's usually, it starts from around just behind the ears. But again, you know, male, female, cartoonish, stylized, realistic, it'll all change depending on what you're doing. Now, I don't really have an enemy reference, so there's that, but I do that from time to time, so I can manage, I guess, but it's always good to have reference. Let's see. Right, I'm gonna start playing around with the neck and see what kind of look we can get over here. Or maybe actually I'd like to add some muscle over here, some what's it called, trapezius? Yeah, some trapezius. So I'm gonna play around a bit with that, just a bit, not too much. Okay, see, some reference right now would be really nice, because even though I learned anatomy, you know, you tend to forget what something looks like from time to time. And if you don't look at reference, you'll probably get it wrong, and if you do that for too long or too, you know, very frequently, then you'll end up creating really bad habits. But, you know, for the purpose of this demonstration right now, just sculpting a character, I think we can get away with it. That's okay. So I'm just gonna slightly mark the sternocleidomastoid. That's how you say it? Sounds like a question, I know, but that's probably how you say it. There you go. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay. So now obviously this part is gonna look a bit weird because it's very stylized, you know, the chin is just going outwards that way. But I feel like I need to pull this a bit down to make it look a little more believable and add some volume over here. Maybe the Adam's apple as well. Yeah. Alright. Looking good. Just realized I'm not really speaking loud enough. Hopefully the microphone is capturing everything properly. There you go. Okay. So let's take a look at the character. Looking very weird. Yeah, I'd like to play around with the shape of the neck a bit more. Try to make it look a bit decent. There you go. So again, don't be too worried if your character looks weird at the beginning. You know, with more practice, you'll get a decent looking character a lot faster, but it's quite normal to, especially at the beginning, to struggle a bit before you get the right shapes. Or, you know, when you're experimenting like I am doing right over here with something that you're not used to doing. It's really part of the process, nothing to be worried about. You should instead try to enjoy it. Alright, so I'm gonna use the sculpt brush over here to pull this whole parts because I'm not really liking the shape. And yeah, that should be fine for now. I'm gonna pull this forward. There you go. And then this part over here to the side. Yeah, why not? I think a wider neck would look better for this character. Give it a bit of a contrast to the thin face. Play around with shapes. So you gotta really play around with shapes a lot to see what's appealing to the eye and what's not. Something you gotta experiment with. There's really no hard rule. Or at least I'm not aware of any. I'm sure there are some rules, but you know, you still want to experiment. There you go. So yeah, I'm feeling like I think, right, that a wider neck would look better. I didn't exaggerate much, just to take a quick look, but I'm gonna exaggerate a little more and really add some trapezius muscles over here, make them look thick and big. That sounded weird, I know. Okay. You know what's really weird? Not listening to music while I'm working. I'm usually not talking while I sculpt. That's a bit weird. But that's okay. Or talking to yourself. That's weird as well. Yeah. Like, I know you guys are gonna be listening to this later, so it's like I'm talking to you guys, but you never quite get used to it, I guess, or I don't know. Maybe I don't do it quite often. Right. There you go. Very nice. Very nice. I'm saying very nice, but no, not really. Still looking weird. So let's play around with the shape a bit. Ooh, what is that? That looks bad. There you go. Okay. So I'm gonna take the scrape brush again, and I'm gonna flatten some of these parts. Add some texture to them. There you go. Nice. And the sternocleidomastoid is just not right. So I'm gonna play around with that shape as well. Till I get something decent. Gonna pull that out. You know, the more you practice any part of the face, the easier it gets. Like, even like this small part over here, it could be quite troublesome when you're not used to it. And I haven't sculpted for a while, to be honest, so I am struggling a bit more than the usual. But we'll get there. We'll get there. No worries. There we go. I'm just gonna flatten it out. There you go. Okay. For now, we're just gonna call this part done because I'd like to take a look at the rest of the face. And yeah, this definitely looks very weird. This definitely looks very weird. There you go. Yeah, that's a bit better. Right? So there's this part where it meets, and then you got the clavicle over here somewhere. That kind of... we'll figure it out later. It's probably gonna have to build this out as well a bit, but yeah. I don't really have to add it over here. Otherwise I'm gonna have to add a bit more flesh. So I won't do that for now. That's fine. We'll go with that. There you go. Looking okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the face. Actually, let me just pause here for a second. And I'll resume the recording just to make sure everything is going smoothly. Okay, I'm back. Now, I could definitely speak louder because I just checked the first part of the recording and I wasn't really speaking loud enough, so I'm gonna try to do that. Anyways, let's get back to the character and see what we could do to improve him. Now, I noticed that the ears is a bit small, so I'm gonna make it a bit wider, bigger. Right over here. Make it almost meet the line of the base of the nose, but not quite. Since it is stylized, I could get away with it. And I'm gonna add some volume, because I feel like it requires some volume. Right. So again, keep in mind the ear is gonna be stylized like the rest of the face. So again, I'm gonna just use my knowledge of anatomy and try to create a stylized version of what I know. Okay. I'm gonna use the crease brush to push in this part. Make this part of the ear more, I don't know, obvious. There you go. Okay. And I'm gonna try to imitate the shape of a real ear right over here. Maybe add the earlobe. Nice. Okay, looking good. And then add some more volume over here and maybe even push it in. So it's important to understand that when you sculpt, it's not only about adding volume or adding mesh, it's also about removing as well. Just like what I believe real sculpting is supposed to work. Not that I ever really sculpted in real life, which I'd really love to do one of these days. Definitely in my to-do list. But yeah, not for now. Alright. So I think the skull is a bit too big for my taste. I'd like to push it down a bit and see if we can get a better shape, a better look for the character. There you go. So kind of get this, you know, stylized long face with a really small skull. I think it could look really cool. So maybe push this down even a bit more. And yeah, I mean, why not? There you go. Ooh, my chair is squeaking. Hopefully you guys don't hear that. Could be annoying. Nothing I can do about it. Well, other than, you know, buy a new chair, but that's not gonna happen now. So anyways, rambling. Well, there will be a lot of rambling since, you know, sculpting takes time. Hopefully you guys like this long format that I don't usually do, but just giving it a try If you guys enjoy it, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, don't forget to like the video if you guys are enjoying this. It really lets me know what kind of content you guys like, so I could create more of it and focus more of the kind of content that you guys like. That I like as well, obviously. It goes both ways. I try to only create content that I enjoy, because otherwise I wouldn't really last, you know. I wouldn't create more of that content because I'd get bored of it really fast. So there's always this question, which is, do I like creating this kind of content, and will it benefit my, you know, my followers, my viewers? Will it benefit you guys? So let's take a look. Yeah, smaller skull looks a bit better, I think. It works better. It was a bit too big. Because if you stretch everything, like I'm going for a long face, if I stretch everything, then it'll just look stretched and not really stylized. Keep that in mind when you create stylized characters. Okay, so I feel like this part of the face right over here, this corner, doesn't look quite right. So I'm gonna play around with the temple. Push it in over here. And probably push this part as well. It's really about trying to find a form that's appealing. There you go. And I'm gonna try and go for a more sharp look over here, even if that's not quite realistic. Again, stylized, don't forget that. Just gonna see if it works with the character. Looking okay. Looking okay. So I'm gonna look from all directions. Gonna look from below over here and see if I could improve this part. I think I'm gonna have to use a scrape brush to kind of, you know, merge these parts in a way. There you go. Okay. And the cheekbone, I feel like it's a bit too high, probably. So I'm gonna push some of this part here to make it look better. There you go. Looking good. Okay. Now there's something I don't really like about the character as it is right now. It's the jaw. It feels a bit like, I don't know, doesn't feel like it has real form per se. I feel like it needs some volume. Right now I'm not quite sure how I could achieve that while keeping the look I'm going for. But you know, that is what experimentation is about. Don't be afraid to experiment new stuff. That's how you learn and discover things. And that's how you eventually get your own style. You know, with time. It takes a lot of time. Keep that in mind. No rush, no hurry. Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna try to pull this part down. See if that works. And the neck is a bit too thin for this character, in my opinion. Let me try to do something over here, because I'm not really quite happy with the neck. Maybe if I mask the face first. Let's do that. There you go. I could probably use the box to mask part of it. Yep. So that's with B, in case you guys don't know. Just the B button, B hotkey, and you can mask most of the face. Perfect. So I'm gonna remove part of the mask with Control. Choose the inverse of the brush. Reverse it, inverse it. And we're gonna start playing around with the neck and try to find the right shape for this character, because yeah, as I said, I'm not quite happy with how thin it is. It just doesn't look appealing with this character the way it is right now. I feel like he really needs a wide neck, right? Really some strong support over here. And trapezius as well. Let's see. Gonna mark this place over here. Yeah, you know, the neck generally gives me a hard time when I'm stylizing characters. Depends. Sometimes I get the shape I want right away, sometimes it needs some tweaking, just like here. But eventually, like whenever you push through with your character and you keep working hard on it, especially if you already have good anatomy knowledge and you know have some experience, you usually get what you want at the end. Just takes a little more time. Let's see. So you might be hearing the keyboard making a lot of noise, and I'm getting a new computer. I already ordered it and I'm waiting for it. I'm gonna build it, and the keyboard I ordered for it is kind of silent, so that would be really cool. So look forward to that. Yep. Let's see. How's that looking so far? Yeah, the neck really wants to give me trouble. It wants to give me a hard time. A really hard time. That's okay. We're gonna get there. No worries. Alright. Let's see. Let's take a look over here. This part looks really weird, so I have to play around with it. Oh, I see what's the issue. Alright, let me remove the mask tool right over here with Alt-M, and I feel like the sternocleidomastoid is just not doing good right over here. So I'm gonna add more volume to it. There you go. Okay. Smooth it out a bit. And try to make it subtle over here. Yeah. Let's see. Gonna push this part of the skull down a bit. And push it backwards from here. Again, looking at all of these sides, making sure that I pay attention to the 3D side of things, right? Because otherwise it's gonna look weird. Maybe only right from one angle, which is not what we're going for. And I'm not really enjoying the very prominent sternocleidomastoid over here, so I'm gonna kind of smooth it out. Try to make it blend in with the rest of these shapes. See if that works better. Probably will. Yeah, it's turning out to be okay. I wouldn't say that's exactly what I'm going for yet, but we could definitely take a look at it again later on. So let's get back to, I don't know, the mouth maybe? Yeah, we could play around with the mouth. See if we could improve that. We didn't really do much here yet, so we can definitely improve it. So what I like to do here is add some flesh to this side. It's a place where a lot of muscles basically meet up. And we could exaggerate it a bit. I always feel like the mouth, it looks really appealing when you add a lot of volume to it. You make it look thick instead of, you know, as opposed to thin. Obviously, there you go. And play around with the shape a bit, because not quite what I'm looking for yet. There you go. Poop. Okay. Give a little character to it. There you go. So what we could do here, the mouth feels a bit, you know, too much backwards, I guess. And I feel like we could definitely push it outwards. Yeah, see, instantly looks better. It's a little flat. So as I said at the beginning, I tried to make it a little round, but usually when you start adding, you know, the shape, you're gonna want to have to play around with the shape again. When it comes to sculpting, you know, it's never ending. You keep on pulling and pushing and adding stuff until you get the right shapes, right? Until everything works together. See, I already like the mouth. It's looking cool. It has some personality to it. Maybe what we could do here, because again, the jaw really feels like it's a bit weak, even though it's not supposed to be. We could definitely add more volume and make it thicker from here. There you go. Try to see if that works. It felt like, I don't know, maybe a paper box or something, I don't know. I'm not really sure. All I know is that it didn't feel firm enough, or I don't know, jaw-like. So it already feels a lot better, to be honest. So yeah, that was definitely missing with the character. So I could definitely use some reference over here, but I won't bother. That's okay. Let's just see how far I could take this character without checking any anatomy reference. Again, I definitely don't advise doing this, especially at the beginning. Like maybe when you start learning anatomy, from time to time you could do this quick fun practice where you don't look at anatomy and try to see how far you could go with the character, and then maybe take a look at anatomy later on and correct the parts that are not right. Could improve your memory, I guess. You know, learning is about trying out new things, trying new methods to learn, seeing, you know, what works for you, because what works for me doesn't necessarily work for you. So, and even like for myself, I always change the methods I use to learn from time to time, keep it fresh, and I feel like it really helps me improve fast, as opposed to just using the same method every time. Alright, so definitely pull this in a bit right over here. Bam. Push this out, and if my memory serves me right, I got the direction wrong. It probably goes inwards rather than outwards in that direction, and yeah, looking really weird. Not bad, just weird. But again, I'm kind of going for a weird look over here. There you go, looking good. Looking good. Alright, let's take a look again. I feel like we could use the crease brush over here to separate the ears a bit more from the skull. It's really sticking to it right now, and that could look a bit weird on the side. Alright. There you go. Boop, smooth out, crease again. And yeah, it looks more like an ear right now. That's cool. And I feel like I'd like to maybe try something over here. Might not go with it, but I'll try it out. Push the ears out. Like that. Give it some personality. Let's see. Yeah, that could actually work. I'm gonna go for that. That could definitely work for this character. Yeah, I feel like I need to check out some reference for this part of the neck. Feels a bit off. I'll check it later on. Alright, let's take a look from all sides. Try to, you know, keep that habit of doing that from time to time. If not all the time. Because, yeah, as I said, I tend to forget to do that from time to time, and I focus too much on one perspective and then end up doing something weird, and it just makes you waste time, so. Looking nice. Right, so far I like the character. He has some personality over here. Some appeal. Maybe we could make a more prominent bro. I don't know, let's try it out. I think that could be cool. Alright. Like maybe add some crease over here, just ever so slightly. And let's see what gives. Use the scrape brush to make it look a little more solid. Maybe add some volume again. There you go. And well, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. It works, so I'm gonna keep it. And let's see, I feel like this part is a bit too outwards, you know? It's like hanging out there. It's like, hey, look at me. And I don't really want you guys to focus at that one part with no particular reason, so I'm gonna smooth it out a bit. And yeah, let's take a look again. Starting to like it. You know, character is getting somewhere. That's cool. I feel like we could work a little on the nose right now. And as you can notice, I keep on going from one part to another without necessarily finishing it. And I think that's a good practice. Like, don't get stuck in one part for way too long. Keep on hopping from one place to another. Like a player. No, never mind. I didn't say that. Yeah, that happens when you talk to yourself like the whole full hour of sculpting. Well, you know, technically talking to you guys, but yeah. So let's see. I feel like I should probably push this part out. You know, this bone, the nose bone, nasal bone. So more prominent. There you go. Makes more sense this way. And then I don't know, maybe bulge this out. Let's see, looking good. And I feel like this place could definitely use some digging, so we're gonna do that. Because it doesn't make sense right now. You know? There you go, pushing it in. Alright. It should look better. There we go. And I think it needs a little more. There you go. Perfect. Well, I say perfect, but I need to take a look at it once I'm done to decide if it's perfect. Alright. Let's take a look. I could definitely... This looks weird. Gonna smooth it out. Yeah, so maybe the base of the nose is a bit too low. So I'm gonna pull it up. Like that. Alright. Yeah. Still not working. Let me see. It's the base, so something's up with the base. I feel like I should probably smooth it out a bit. There you go. Yeah, that looks better. That looks better. And definitely needs a little more volume over here. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Alright. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Perfect. Alright. Squeaky chair. Sheesh. Perfect. Alright. Let's take a look again at the character as a whole and see what we could do. I could definitely see a lot of parts I'd like to improve, but just looking at the weakest link of the character right now, trying to find it and work on that first. So that's basically what I do. I just try to find the weakest link, work on that, improve it, and then go for the next weakest link. And I keep on doing that until I'm satisfied with the character or I run out of time, because I do give myself some time limit. I don't like working on characters for way too long. I think that's counterproductive. It's definitely debatable, but if you guys never watched my video on how to practice sculpting, you should definitely check it out. It gives you a new perspective on how to practice really anything, not only sculpting. It's my own vision of things, and a lot of people were able to benefit from it who watched the video, and they did it and they told me about it, and they were really happy with that method of of sculpting, so go check out that video. Alright, so I'm gonna pause the video right now and I'm gonna take a look at the character slowly and just try to see what I want to do next, okay? Alright, see you guys in a second. Alright, I'm back and I decided to add some hair, but before I do that I noticed one of the reasons why the chin looked a bit, or the jaw looked a bit weak. Now it's definitely an improvement from the beginning, but as you can see over here we have a I don't know, a slanted or a curved look over here that I'm not really happy with. That's not how it usually goes. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to push this out just a bit and make it look a bit more like a jaw. Alright, and again we have a curve over here that I'm not really happy with. So I'm gonna do the same thing and straighten it out a bit. And hopefully that will fix the issue that I had initially with this character. Alright. I'm gonna pull this part over here. Just add some creasing. Okay. Let's take a look. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. Probably smooth this a bit over here. And I think that'll do for now. Alright, the other thing I wanted to quickly fix is the nose. Could definitely use some improvement. So let's get right to it, and then I'm gonna work on the hair. And honestly, I don't really have a clear idea of what kind of hair I want to add to this character. I could have left him bald, but I don't know, I just felt like it. I thought could be a good learning experience for you guys. Try to see a method for creating hair, because there are a lot of methods really, and I always use different ones. I never really stick to one. Depends on the character, the kind of look I'm going for, and the type of hair that I'm trying to do. All right, let's take a look. We could definitely separate this part a bit, just ever so slightly, like so. And let's see, probably work on the lower part over here. Again, it's always a good idea to have some anatomy reference. You could take a look at some anatomy images on the internet while watching this video to kind of see what I'm doing and understand why I'm stylizing the character in, you know, this way. There you go. Boop, boop, boop. I do plan an anatomy video or course or something, you know, in the future, but I haven't really done one yet. I talk about it from time to time while creating a character, talk about some parts and show you guys some things, but I don't really have a video dedicated for that, even though it's quite important. So it's definitely something that will be coming one day. Right, let's see. The nose is can be sometimes hard, it can be easy. Depends on the nose you're going for, and sometimes it depends on luck. Sometimes you get it right from the beginning right away, just like any other part, and sometimes you don't. But I feel like it's good enough for now. I don't think we have to spend any longer on it. Well, at least for now. So let's get right to the hair and see what we could do with that. Okay, so for the hair, I'm gonna use a separate mesh for this character. Now you could definitely create or sculpt the hair directly on the skull if you wanted to, and that'll give a different look, but it'll be a bit harder to manage. So it really depends on what you want to go for. For this character, I'm just gonna create a, I don't know, maybe a sphere. There we go. And try to see what I can do with that. So I'm going to go to sculpt mode, activate dynamic topology, and try to mimic the shape of the skull that he got right now, which is why it's important to get that right before you get to the hair. Otherwise it could look weird. All right. So yeah, just a really quick shape would be fine for now. I don't want to go too much into details because I might change the skull shape a bit later on. So I'm gonna keep it light. Right, for the hairline. Wonder why I had a hard time saying that. So for the hairline, I will probably go for a receding hairline for this character. So he's probably maybe, I don't know, in his mid-30s or something. He's an old dude. Yeah, he's not young. He's definitely not young. Well, right now, at least, he does not look young. Alright. I'm gonna sculpt that part out. And again, I'm gonna keep it really light. Just try to see what kind of look I'm gonna go for. Especially since I have really nothing in mind right now. Oh. Maybe I do have a basic idea of what I want to do. So yeah. Gonna add some hair over here. Push out the hairline. Whoa. Pulled out the wrong part of the sphere. Okay. Yeah, so I might go with something really simple, or maybe add a hair strand or two in the front to add some interest to it. But I'm not gonna go with anything complicated or time consuming to do. Alright. And I'll clean it up later, so I'm just going for the overall shape right now. Probably gonna pull this part out over here. And yeah, it's adding some personality to the character, which is good. I kind of like that. I think adding hair is a good idea for this character. Why not? Yeah, could go both ways. But again, as I said, it'll be a learning experience for you guys, so I don't mind doing it. I'm actually working on another character at the same time, so a female character. Which was voted by my Patreons. So if you guys are, any of you guys are my patrons, you know, thank you for the support. That's really cool. And I asked them if they wanted a female or a male character for the next character package, and almost everyone voted for a female character. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, I'm working on another character at the same time. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you probably already saw her. And she's not far from done, but I thought I'd work on this character and this video basically for you guys while I'm doing the other one. You know, keep things fresh for myself and create some content that's interesting for you guys. All right. Okay, so you know, I never really properly studied or observed how the hairline or how the hair looks from the back, so I should probably do that, because whenever I get to this part I kind of just wing it, try to go for something that looks okay, but I'm sure it's not quite like that. So yeah, see, I always like, I get stuck over here. That's the stubborn part of me. Like, seriously, it would probably take 2 seconds to take a look at reference and get it done. But whatever. It's all good. It's all good. Alright, I'm gonna keep it that way for now. It's not really important for now. Put this out a bit. There you go. Actually, it was kind of nice pushed in. So, and I'm gonna push this part in as well. Maybe add some mesh over here. There we go. Perfect. So that's the base hair for the character. I could stop over here, but I'd like to test out some other things, like maybe adding some hair strands and, I don't know, adding some interest. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, why can't you save? There you go, it saved. I'm going to duplicate the hair because I'm gonna sculpt on it. Just in case I don't like what I do next, I'm gonna save it right here. I actually decided to go for curves. So I already did a video on this, on how to create hair with curves. You could go check it out if you're wondering how to do that. And I usually already have it ready in my blend file, just in case I want to use it. So let's see, I'm probably gonna duplicate this one, put it in another layer. Again, I have a tutorial on that, on how to create hair with curves. Just type on YouTube and you'll find it. All right, let's see. Gonna rotate this and probably make it smaller. Oops. Yeah, I'm just gonna scale it down, that's fine. Okay. Gonna rotate it again, 90 degrees, perfect. Push it backwards and let's see if we could get something interesting really fast. Again, I'm just testing things out. I really have no idea what I'm gonna do. So just try to find something interesting. And if not, really, honestly, the character looks good without any hair strands right now. But yeah, we could maybe find something interesting if we just give it a try. So I'm gonna scale it back up a bit and push this down. No, maybe on the side. So I really like curves because you could easily manipulate the shape, and it really has a clean look to it, which is cool. But you might be going for a very sculpt look, and if you are, then you might want to sculpt on the hair instead of using the curves. So that's why I said it depends on what you're going for. Right. Let's see. Honestly, this could be interesting. Just adding a couple of hair strands, I think that would work out for this character. So yeah, just make something interesting out of this. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Let's see. So honestly, I'm just going random here. Just trying to find a look that's appealing. I'm not really following any hair reference or anything like that. And for the hair, I usually do that, even though I highly recommend that you look for reference and understand how hair works. But once you do, you generally can't just wing it. Unless you're going for something really realistic, then you might want to find some reference anyways. All right. So you don't want the hair to take away from the character's face, which is why when it was here, it kind of messed up the look over, you know, over the eyes and the forehead and everything, which is why I pushed it away. So you want it to complement the head and not take away from the experience, you know, from the look. Hopefully that made sense, because honestly, I barely made sense with my own words, so yeah. I do apologize, sometimes I'm too focused on what I'm doing, which makes it a bit hard to talk at the same time. But as long as you guys get the idea, I think it's mission accomplished. See, it's really figuring out what's appealing. So it's trial and error at this point. Unless you have reference, then it's just following what you got. Oop. So I don't want anything, you know, I don't want to overdo the hair either. Just a few strands, really. Maybe push this one up a bit like that. No, down, I don't know. I'll keep it the way it is. Take a look. Right, I'm gonna try to add a fourth one and see if I could do something interesting. Maybe push that one upwards. And that probably won't work. Or under, keep it under. I think a fourth one is not needed. Yeah. Or maybe if we add a smaller strand, we could add some interest to the character. So I'm gonna scale it down, and I don't know, maybe let's see what kind of look we're gonna go for. There you go. Just add some random hair strand over here. That could work. Like a really long one. Or let's see. Okay, a fourth hair strand is just not working out. I think 3 is the magic number with this character. I mean, kind of works. Kind of. I don't know. I think it does. We could keep it for now, and if later on I decide otherwise, we'll just delete it. Whoops, let's see. Control Z. Oh, that was actually the right move, okay. And let's see, push this backwards. Maybe if we scale it down a bit. I could probably add a 5th one. Scale it down and make a really small hair strand. That's some visual interest. And you guys could definitely fast forward this because it's just moving around the points to get something interesting, so I don't really know if it's that interesting for you guys. But I won't spend a lot of time on it anyways, so you could just hang on. I feel like this one's messing up the look a bit, so yeah, might not add it. Nah. Alright, I'm gonna keep it at 4 for now. And character looks a bit weird and a little, well, a bit interesting at the same time with the hair strands. So it's definitely something I should consider keeping or removing, I don't know. I feel like asking you guys what you think, but by the time you're watching this video, I would have already made my decision. So yeah, it's not like it's live or anything like that. Alright, let me grab these 2. Bam. Okay. Let's see, backpack. And that kind of works. They both work. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it like that for now. Again. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab all of the hair strands, move them to a different layer. Move this one as well. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm gonna take a look and see if it's really worth adding. Because it might not be. I mean, I don't know. Well, it looks good either way. I think we're gonna keep it for now. I mean, we got nothing to lose. And if I don't like it, I'll just remove it at the end. At least you guys saw how to do it. So, no loss over here. Alright, let's fix the neck. So the reason I couldn't get the neck right from the start is because I stylized the face and I didn't take into account to stylize the neck for it to work with the face. Make sure when you stylize a character, you pay attention to the proportions and everything working well together. So what we're gonna do over here is go to sculpt mode and we're gonna mask a good part of the face. So actually I'm gonna hit the B button for box and just grab a good part of it over here. Whoops. Mask. Actually I'm gonna use the B button again. Boop. Just gonna grab this part. There you go. Perfect. And with the control button, I could inverse the effect of the mask. There you go. Kind of remove some of it over here because I'm gonna wanna grab this part. There you go. And we'll fix anything that looks off later on, so that's not a problem. All right. So again, the issue here is that the chin is really long and it's making the neck look short. So we're gonna remedy that right away. We're gonna pull the whole thing down. There you go. As you can see, it's already looking a lot better, even from here. And yep. That was the biggest issue. I think the neck was looking really short. And that's why stylizing a character is not that easy. It requires a lot of things like knowledge of anatomy, knowing how to manipulate shapes to your advantage, and learning just what's appealing, what works together. There's definitely a learning curve when you want to stylize a character. There you go. Okay, so I am going to remove the mask with Alt M, and then I'm just gonna soften things up and take a look. And yeah, the character is already looking a lot better, a lot more, you know, appealing, you know, compared to a few seconds ago. So that really fixes that. Cool. Very nice. All right, so another problem I had with the character, I'll still go back to the neck to fix everything over here. I'm kind of just fixing the major issues that I have with the character. So I don't really like this part yet. I still feel like from the front, it looks good, I think. Let me just give it a quick save. Boop. 11. Incrementing it. All right, so from the front it looks good, from here it looks good. You go to the side and just not so much. It looks kind of weird, and it's a difficult form to do because that's quite the exaggeration, and I still want to make it look appealing. So I'm gonna give it a go. So I actually took up some reference right now on the neck from the side, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting things right, because I noticed I'm already over an hour and I don't want to prolong this a lot longer. I think at a point I'll change it to a time lapse when I feel like there's nothing more to teach. It's more of a repetition and just, you know, doing small corrections. But right now I feel like I still got a lot to teach with this character, which is why it's still in real time. Like for the neck, for instance, you know, I really think it's important to understand that you need to make everything work together and be open-minded when you're stylizing a character. And don't give up on your character right away. I mean, if you're working on a character, it doesn't look good right away, you know, sometimes you just need to spend a little more time on him or her. Maybe just take a day off, work on something else, and come back to the character later on. And usually when I do this, I really don't regret it. I end up getting good results. Just don't get too attached to your work. If you're wasting too much time on the character, then just move on. You'll probably learn faster with something else. Maybe you're missing something. Some knowledge, some anatomy information, I don't know. A fresh start. Sometimes it's only about a fresh start, you know? So let's see, the Adam's apple is not working with the character right now, so yeah, a small one probably work better. And then so I try to keep this over here so that you can see when the dynamic topology is on, the information over here, the detail, and also the brush I'm using, because I switch real fast with the hotkeys. And you know, saying what I'm doing every single second would kind of be annoying for you guys as well. So just pay attention, I guess, to the parts that you're not sure what I'm doing. Just take a look over here and you'll understand, hopefully. Alright. Okay. Alright, for now I'm gonna leave it right here. I think I could probably make the cursed Sternocleidomastoid, which is this thing over here. Yeah, I could definitely go for thicker and the form is not quite right looking at the anatomy picture. See, it's always good, even like I already studied this, like I know how a neck looks like, but you tend to forget, you tend to not pay attention sometimes, so it's always good to have reference, right? Alright, well, I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Let's work on the face. So it's looking a bit squished over here. I don't know what could I exactly do. Maybe make this wider. I can give that a go. I'm giving it a save again. So I could try to make this wider. No, I wouldn't say that's the issue. It is definitely a very difficult form to do and make look, you know, make it look good. That's the hardest part. Maybe if I push this out and mimic a bit how a chin really looks like, that would work better. Let's give that a try. Okay. And then whoops, not what I wanted to do. Okay, cleaning it up. Take a look. Nope, still not doing the trick. Kind of makes it look a little weirder, but that's fine. Weird is not definitely, it's not necessarily the thing I'm not going for. But I'm going for weird appealing rather than weird just looking weird, you know? Alright, let me clean this up real fast. There you go. Alright, we're gonna keep it like this for now. Didn't really do much there. Alright, for the chin, the jaw, I mean, there's definitely something to do. Maybe if I raise or push this part back, even the ears, I think if I push the ears back, that would probably fix that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is gonna try and remove the hair. Did I put in a different layer? I think I did. Okay, not this part. Why do I have doubles? That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna put you away. There you go. And then this head part, there you go. I'm gonna move it to here. Let's take a look. All right, perfect. So now I could better see the head and work with that. Kind of looking cool, bold. Huh. Makes you wonder. Anyways, so I'm gonna push the ear and the jaw back so the face looks less squished. And then we'll fix any mess we make while doing that. Yeah, that kind of seems to do the trick. I think that will do the job. Okay. So what I'm doing here is really minor things. I mean, the character is done. Like the idea of the character is done. We already have the idea, the hair, the head shape, everything, and it's just about making the character look better from now on. So soon I'm gonna turn this into a time lapse. All right. There you go. And just cleaning the mess a bit around the jaw, making it look a little more solid and less wobbly, like right over here. Okay, smoothed it out. So you can see how wobbly it looks like. Just trying to fix that. There you go. I'm just gonna flatten this part out. Perfect. Very nice. Right. Nice. So this part is a little more, I don't know, I feel like I always make it too sharp, so I'm gonna kind of blend in the jaw with the neck. There you go. And yeah, looking awesome. And then the trapezius, I'd like to work on that as well. Let's see. I feel like the trapezius has to be a little more flat. It's a bit thick. Yeah. That's a weird way to... Because I was far? I think it's because I was far. Yep. So the closer I get, the more detail I add to the mesh. Hopefully you guys already know that, since I'm working with relative detail over here. Okay. Actually, what I'm gonna do here is put this guy on the side so I can see what's going on, and work on the character that way. All right. Much better. Actually, I'm still gonna pull this part back, add some thickness to the torso, to the start of the torso. Probably some width to the arms, the shoulders. There you go. Perfect. Actually, the shoulders should line up kind of with the ears, so I'm gonna push that a bit forward so that doesn't look that weird. There you go. Perfect. Nice. It's starting to look like the character's coming along, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, anytime now, this video will switch to a time-lapse video. Just warning you guys. Okay, so now we are watching the time-lapse video. So far I've been sculpting the character for 1.5 hours, more or less, and the time-lapse will consist of an additional 1.5 hours of sculpting the character. Now the video just got a bit too long, you know. 1.5 hours is more than the average duration of the videos on YouTube. So I really didn't want to separate this into separate tutorials. I wanted to put this character in one video and see how you guys react to that. Do you guys enjoy this long version, or do you prefer really short ones? So yeah, it's about testing out new stuff, you know, keeping things fresh, and I'd appreciate if you guys just leave a comment below and let me know if you enjoy this long format, so that I can do it maybe from time to time. Anyways, so at this point, I'm really only refining the character a lot with the scrape brush and fixing the parts that I didn't really like, or for example, you know, the bust and the neck, it was really not working for the character. It was the weakest link, and I thought that I just needed to fix that so that I could get back the balance and create a nice character. So that's what I did, and then I worked a little on the nose and just worked on whatever didn't really look realistic enough to match the character, and that is by just checking out some anatomy reference and making sure that I got everything right. Also, it is quite important to just take a look at your character from time to time, take a break and get back to him or her, and it really helps refresh that look you have on your character, because if you're working on anything for too long, at that point you don't really see the mistakes anymore, you don't see the flaws anymore, and that's why it's super important that you just take a break. And in fact, this character actually took me I think 2-3 weeks to finish, because I got sick a lot in between and I had to stop from time to time, and every time I came back I'd have another vision for the character and I'd notice a lot of things and I'm like, okay, you know, I want to fix that and that. But I did decide to change it to the time-lapse video at the point where I thought that I showed you guys enough, and any more would just be prolonging the tutorial and didn't really make much sense. But if you guys want to see this time-lapse part in real time, obviously it will be available for my Patreons and on Gumroad, but I'll talk about all of that in details and what you guys will get if you get it through Gumroad at the end of the video. Anyway, so hopefully you guys learned a lot from this video. I'd really appreciate a comment below. Just let me know what you thought of it. And if you stumbled across this video before watching the first part, so the introduction or the beginner sculpting, well, I didn't really name the video yet because I didn't publish it yet while I'm recording this video, but it should be out a week before you see this. So I believe it's going to be called something like Sculpting in Blender for Beginners. So make sure you watch that video first. Hopefully you already did, because it will help you understand what's going on here and it'll help you follow this tutorial. So I should probably, you know, say this in the introduction of this video, which I probably will, because otherwise, you know, a bit too late after 1.5 hours of watching the video. So yeah, that's about it for the time-lapse. The one thing that I didn't show you is the eyebrows, but it's really simple. I do it with most of my characters. I already talked about it. It's just a simple retopology method, and that's about it. If you guys enjoyed the tutorial, then you will definitely enjoy the full course with the exclusive contents that I'm putting up on my Gumroad and giving to my Patreons. If you want to really support the channel, you can get it at the full price. However, I do understand that a lot of you are students and don't necessarily have the means to get it at full price. So I'm gonna do you a solid and give you a 50% off promotional code in the comment section below. It will be up for a limited amount of time and a limited amount of sales. If you're interested, make sure you get it as soon as possible so that you don't miss out. In the full course, you're gonna get a 3-part package. So for the first part, you're gonna get an introduction to sculpting in Blender. In that package, you're gonna get the blend files, the OBJ files. You're gonna get the tutorials that I'm putting out here on YouTube. And in addition to that, you're gonna get 1 hour of videos, so tutorials on sculpting, tips, tricks, and advice. And finally, the Blender theme that I'm currently using. The second part of the package is going to be about sculpting a stylized male face. So you're going to get the full recording of 3 hours of me sculpting the character, the blend files, the OBJ files, materials, textures, everything that comes with the character, the high-res renders, and obviously the tutorial that I'm also sharing on YouTube, which is 1 hour and 30 minutes of real-time sculpting with commentary. The final one is a bonus package, which is part 3, texturing and rendering the skin in Blender. Yes, you heard it right. I'm gonna show you how to texture and render the skin in Blender, a full tutorial of 30 minutes. I'm gonna take you through the material that I created for the skin, the subsurface scattering, and I'll also show you in real time how to texture the diffuse for the skin and how to texture the bump map for the skin. The best part is all of that will be hand painted, so I'm gonna show you tips and tricks on how to do that. Hope you guys enjoyed the course. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought. Like that video, share it with your friends, spread the word, and I'll see you guys in the next one.